3 years ago, when I launched my marketing agency, I had no email list, no existing client data, no testimonials, no case studies, but in the space of a few weeks, we managed to sign our first 10 paying clients, from 0 to 10 paying clients quite quickly. In this video, I'm going to explain the exact steps that I took back then so you can use the exact same framework that I'm about to share in this video to attract your next 10 paying clients or your first 10 paying clients. For those of you that are new to the channel or don't know me at all, my name is Craig Lewis, and for the last couple of years I've been running a successful marketing agency. And in case you're wondering why I'm creating these videos, I create these videos and share everything that I've learned over the last 5 years as an entrepreneur and business owner, so that other entrepreneurs can increase the revenue and reach of their online businesses. So I guess the first thing I want to say is there's a ton of different ways and a ton of different methods that you can use when it comes to attracting your first or next 10 paying clients. And the purpose of this video is not to give you all of the options, because there's tons. I'm going to share with you the exact approach that I used 3 years ago when I first started my agency, because it's something that I've used and repeated over and over again, multiple times, depending on if we have new offers, new programs, or we're just looking to acquire new customers in a different area. So today's video, I'm just going to share the exact same framework that I used a couple of years ago. The way that I set out to attract the first 10 clients was mostly because around 3 years ago, I had a couple of businesses that were kind of doing okay, but they weren't making the impact that I thought they would at that time. So my thinking was, what's the biggest lever I can use to attract 10 clients into a new business, into a new company as quickly as possible, so that you can generate as much cash flow as possible for me at that time? Because in all honesty, the companies that I had were kind of ticking in the background, but they were not bringing in any kind of revenue that I was expecting. So I had to think of something a little bit outside the box. What can I do to bring in as much cash flow as possible? And I guess the second reason, I wanted to have as much feedback as possible, as quickly as possible, so that I could use the feedback from the 10 or the most amount of people that we could work with at the time in a short amount of space, so that we could use their experience with this new company. We could make it better, but also I knew we would get results because I was confident in the offer that we had. I wanted to have as much testimonials, results, and case studies as possible, so that we could use that for marketing material to further grow the business. That was my thinking and the strategy that I used. So what I did was, instead of looking to work with 1 or 2 people individually, I created an element of scarcity and urgency, not by anything other than just setting a deadline in place and saying that we're only going to work with a set amount of people for a set amount of time, and once that time frame is passed, or when we fill up the spots, we're going to shut everything down, and we're not going to open things until we're ready, or that the business is in a position to work with more clients. So what I did was, I picked a date that was 3 weeks ahead into the future, the day that I decided to make this offer. I told myself that we would work with 5 clients. We would all start at the same time. We would work with each other at the same time. Even though this wasn't a group program, this was a marketing agency, I opened the doors to a beta program. The date that would start would be in 3 weeks' time, and we would only be working with 5 clients. The other thing that I decided to do was, because we had no proof of concept other than my own personal results in my own companies at that time, I decided that a decent strategy to attract as many people as possible would also be to reduce the fees as low as possible. We didn't do anything for free. We still wanted a barrier to entry, but the fees that we set at that time acted as a way to get people into the company as quickly as possible, and it worked. I'll describe each of the 5 steps that I've used, and I'll show you exactly why I think each of these was super powerful in what we did. The first thing we did was to sit down and be as clear as possible on what the offer was, who we worked with, and the outcome that we would get. And I think a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs kind of get stuck in the weeds when it comes to this. It can get very convoluted, and then you can either be too broad and it attracts nobody, or be so specific and so many different words that people kind of get lost and nobody actually knows what you're doing. So I think the easiest place to start, and something that I've used and continue to use, is to use this sentence. I help ideal avatar achieve desired result using, and then you can say my method or process or platform. In the case of myself back in 2019, what we did was we set out and we said we help online creators and bloggers increase website traffic using our Pinterest methodology. That was it. That was as simple as it was, and that worked really, really well. It was clear, concise, and we told people exactly what it was. So that's the first step. Be very clear on what it is that you're offering, be very clear on the outcome that someone's going to get, and be very clear on how you're going to do this. So number 2 is to speak directly with people that you know in person. I'm not talking about online or Facebook groups or any of that stuff. There are going to be people that you personally know that need and want what you have. Doesn't matter what the offer is, doesn't matter what the service is or the program. There will be people that you know right now in person that you can literally ask and tell them what it is that you're doing. So if you follow step 1 and say, I'm thinking about launching a beta program in 3 weeks' time, we're only going to work with 5 people. Once it's closed, it's closed. And there will be people that you know in person that will take you up on that offer. So that's definitely the first step to go. You don't need to complicate this anything other than just finding people in person that you think you can help. Step number 3 is to speak to all of the people that you know online or are connected with online. This can be posting on newsfeeds, this can be anywhere you have a following, like at all. It doesn't matter if it's a business profile or a personal profile. Just for context, 3 years ago, I was only using my personal profile that people were finding me through, and that's how we grew my company a couple of years ago. So post everywhere, tell people what it is that you're doing, be very clear on what it is that you're doing, post on all platforms. If you have an email list, that's even better. Like I didn't have an email list, so if you have that, then 100% use this. Leverage all of the platforms that you're active on and tell people online that you're connected with that you're offering this program and this service. It starts in this date, whatever time frame you've picked, and it's going to last this long, and you're only working with a set amount of people. So that's number 3, speak to all of the people online that you're connected with. So this is step number 4, and this particular step can be a bit tricky because this is where you're going to be posting in very relevant Facebook groups. And the reason this can be tricky is Facebook groups, the ones that run well, they have rules and requirements of what can be posted and what can't be posted. So make sure you're following the guidelines of that group. If there are elements of promotion that you can't post in specific groups, the next best thing is to reach out to the owner or the owners of that group, tell them what you're offering, explain to them what it is that you're doing, and a couple of things might happen. First, they might approve what you've told them. Secondly, you're going to most likely connect with an owner of a Facebook group, and if you're already speaking with them, it's likely that they share an interest with the audience that you're working with. So you're developing connections and you're building a network. The other thing to consider is you may already, when you start connecting with these people, you may set up some form of affiliate program where you tell them what it is that you're doing. You're launching a beta program, you're working with a set amount of people for a set amount of time. They may say, we will promote your program for you if we take a percentage of sales that come in through the members of our group. That's a win-win for everybody. So that's definitely something to consider. Posting in Facebook groups, especially relevant Facebook groups, where your ideal avatar is super, super powerful, especially for getting started or if you're looking to acquire another set of paying clients. So when I followed this process back in 2019, it was these individual steps that allowed me to fill out the first 5 spots within days. And it happened really fast, it happened really quick. Within the first couple of days, we signed 5 people. That was amazing because that was a brand new company. Like we had our first 5 paying clients in. We onboarded them, we got them up and running. I kind of built a mini team around everything that we did. And then I realized a couple of things. The first was there were way more people waiting than I thought. I didn't realize it at the time. Signed 5, I closed the doors to we're not going to work with anyone else until we're up and running. But I realized we did have the capacity to work with more. So about a week or 2 later, after we were up and running with the first 5 paying clients, I opened the doors again and I said, we have room and capacity to work with another 5. And within another week of that happening, we had another 5 paying clients. So within the space of 2 to 3 weeks, we had 10 paying clients for a brand new company, a brand new offer with no testimonials, no case studies. and we were up and running at that point. Taking this approach, a couple of other aspects happened that I didn't realize. So essentially what we did was, the time frame of this was from October, November, December in 2019. At that point, I completely shut the doors. We worked with 10 people, we got good results, but what was happening in the background, a lot of activity was happening in a couple of different Facebook groups. And what had happened is, I had a queue of paying clients or potential clients that wanted to pay stacked up in my messages within my Facebook Messenger. They were ready and waiting. By the time January 1st came, which was just after the first 3 months of the beta program that we launched, we signed another 10 to 12 clients within the next 6 to 8 weeks. No paid advertising, no marketing. The only thing that we did was we grew through word of mouth by creating legitimate scarcity and legitimate urgency around a beta program that delivered results. And then people went and told other people in Facebook groups. And it just grew and grew and grew and continued to snowball for a long, long time. And I think this is why I wanted to share this strategy with everybody, because I think that if you take what I'm sharing and create something that you have and use it in the offer or program that you're thinking about doing, and follow these couple of steps, only work with a certain amount of people, close the doors and get good results, use those results, and then share those results with everybody, it will attract the right client into your ecosystem. Again, this was just something that I experienced, and this was the catalyst and the difference between looking for clients, especially for a new company and a new offer. This was the difference between looking for clients and clients looking for us. And before we knew it, we had a waiting list of 6 to 8 weeks. By the February and March of 2020, so that was 2 to 3 months in after officially launching, we had a growing number of leads in Facebook Messenger and different platforms that came to us. They found us, and it was amazing because that's how we gained momentum for a long, long time. We had no website, no lead magnet, none of that stuff. We just managed to create a space where people could find us, know what we did, know who we worked with, and how we would work with them. So I'm pretty sure if you follow these steps and implement everything that I've said, it's very likely that you can replicate or even outperform what I had done back just a couple of years ago. The thing was, I didn't really know exactly what it was that I was doing. It's not until looking back now that I can see this is the steps that we took and these is the reasons why it worked. So yeah, I'm excited to see you guys implement this, and let me know if you've liked this video, and please feel free to subscribe and drop a comment to let me know if you've enjoyed this video.